when you get to a certain level in your fishing, the level you're definitely at and you're at, fishing becomes one simple thing: find the carp.
It's not the alarm, mate. The alarm is a bit of it, but the biggest bit, the bit that actually makes me spank my bag.
Don't you hate the fact it might fall off?
You hate it, but that's the,
Like,
that's the
imagine if it
adrenaline
just
rush,
fucking
bruv.
falls off,
Like-
mate.
Okay guys, welcome. We have kind of a new concept here, I think. We're a bit boozed. We just had like a festival all day long.
Oh, mate, it's been fantastic.
I had a good day.
Amazing.
You had a good day?
Nah, genuinely, boys. I said to you and Pilar, hats off to you. You've smashed it yet
Thanks.
again. Really, really great event.
And
But
the
I'm not sure-
hospitality as well, the Dutch people is always just fantastic. Always enjoy my time in Holland, whether it's Swal and now the KWO in Action Day, mate. It's just a lovely day out.
I agree. But if you have to be honest, we're slightly drunk. So I call this,
I've got glass. I'm so drunk.
I'm so drunk. I call this the random interview because we had this on the planning. We would shoot an interview. Now I have all these serious questions. To be honest, I didn't prepare at all. Pilar, he's sitting there.
Why is Pilar not sitting with us? Because I'd really like him here.
Just sit there, Pilar.
Pilar,
Come
just
on.
sit here.
Come on,
Come
man.
sit on my knee.
Pilar.
Yeah.
Everyone
Come
wants
here.
to sit-
Come here.
Yeah, let me take the chair, bruv. I want to sit on the floor.
Oh, hey, baby.
Oh my God, the quality is already dropping.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. Okay guys, cut.
Is he not coming in?
No, he's not confident
He
enough.
just killed the framing as well.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. No, I mean I have some honest questions for you guys because I fish with both of you, but never together.
Yeah.
I know your fishing styles are like completely different. So I was just curious, Alan, tell me what you think about Samir's fishing style. How he handles it, what he does.
The first thing I'd say, Mark, that statement before, when you said our fishing styles are very different, I
You don't
absolutely
agree?
disagree.
Ah,
Yeah,
really? Nice.
I disagree. Maybe what rig he uses, how he baits, the type of venues he fishes, the duration, all of those things might be different. But I think when you get to, and not trying to give it the big in here, when you get to a certain level in your fishing, the level you're definitely at and you're at, fishing becomes one simple thing: find the carp. So whether you use a chod rig and you bait heavily and you use a boat and I use a bait boat or a drone or whatever it is, there's one core fundamental underneath everything. You won't go fishing, bruv, unless there's carp. Will you?
No, mate.
You're not daft, geese.
No, mate.
You've done the blanks.
Yep.
You've done the shit, and the same for you, Mark.
Yeah.
So I would retract that. Why are we different? There's a load of factors, because everyone's different, bruv. Like, you're a weirdo, geese. You've just done 3 months in the Caribbean and not even fished, bruv. Like, you know, we're all different as individuals. And, you know, I think if Samir and I spent more time together, like Ollie and I have spent a lot of time fishing together, you start to become more similar in the way you angle. And I think the same would apply with all of us. But yeah, I think we're actually really quite similar. So much so, Mark, that you love a chod rig now. Like, you know, yeah.
No, but it's really good how you frame this because on days like these, people just ask so many questions, and I'm
Yeah.
like, man, it's like 90%.
Yeah.
It's all fishing
You
on the
know
fish.
it, Mark. You know it.
It's not
You know,
hard. Fishing
I'll
is
be
simple.
honest, and I'm talking to everyone here now. Anyone watching this, I've fished now for like 30 years. But really, in my carp fishing, it's only been like the last 5 to 10 years where a lot of things have really clicked, And that takes time, bruv. You must
Yeah,
have done it as well,
experience,
some
yeah.
experience and time on the
32
water.
years now
like-
fishing for carp, and like you said, it's more like, I guess the last sort of 10 years that I felt like I've really sort of come into my own with my angling. And yeah, like Alan's right, there isn't really that much difference. The fundamentals are the same. You need to find the fish and then get a good rig and a good bait amongst them. But 99% of it is finding the fish, you know. I think a lot of people are really quite prepared to sort of, oh, this swim looks great, or this swim done a load of bites 2 days ago or yesterday. Well, that's yesterday or 2 days ago. And that's, you know, that's lazy angling essentially. And they're happy to slip in behind someone in the hope that it's going to reward them, when really they're probably better off spending the time, investing their time in having a good search around, and not just finding fish, finding the right group of fish as well, which is
Happy
also
carp.
important.
It's something I've been more conscious of in the last few years, the difference between, Chloe will never watch this, but if there's a chick in the rave,
Yeah.
and you try and and it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen, bro.
Yeah,
She's fucking giving it the fuck off, do one, or hang on a minute, like. But as one analogy, it could be. With the carp, it's the same. When you look at them, if they're like scooting around really fast and they're unhappy, or they're like just sitting gasping at the surface, like.
But even then.
Yeah, okay. You
I mean,
can
even
pull a
then,
bit
you
of
put
bread.
you told me today that you have an issue on your elbow because you want to lower like 20, 30 times. You want to cast on the same carp.
Yeah, no, different style of fishing.
Yeah?
There's a misunderstanding here. What I'm getting at is, with experience like you guys, you can observe those fish and know, am I going to
Is it
catch?
gonna work?
Yeah,
Yeah,
am I going to
are
catch?
they not?
Am I going to
Yeah,
catch? So if nothing else comes from this, the people watching this, please do not sit here and think that we have a magic bait or a magic rig, or a lot of it is time. It
Hard
is
work, mate. It's
Hard
graft.
work and time,
Graft.
man. Years and years and years and years and years of effort. Yeah.
But if you are completely honest then, like all the products which we bring on the market and sell, are they really necessary for people to get?
100%.
But they make things easier for you,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what I guess development in fishing tackle is about. It's about making angling easier and more accessible, you know, to the consumer, people who haven't maybe got all the refined, you know, techniques. They haven't spent time, you know, learning as much or have as much experience would probably be the more right thing to say. But a lot of the products that we bring to market is making angling easier
To be honest,
for people.
The ready-tied rigs, I would just grab them nowadays. I mean, I would be totally confident.
Yeah.
And I would love it. I mean, I hate tying rigs.
Yeah.
But
It's a really interesting question, Mark, and funnily enough, I've spoke to some people about it today. Really interesting question. On social media platforms, we as a brand, maybe you the same, we will receive a lot of criticism sometimes. We launch a product, Robin, bastard, you're just doing it to steal. No, we're genuinely doing it because we hope it will catch you more fish. There's certain things, and I chatted with some people earlier about it. If I wear a KWO Live the Search t-shirt, if I wear a Nash t-shirt, if I wear a North Face t-shirt or a Louis Vuitton t-shirt, I ain't catching more or less fish. I'm not. But if I have a good quality set of waterproofs, yeah, maybe it won't catch me more fish today or tomorrow, but over 2 or 3 seasons with those waterproofs might keep me out in the rain 10 more minutes or half an hour longer, enough to see a show or something. So chairs, again, a different chair's not gonna, but just to be comfortable on a bank, but there are certain products that do make a genuine difference. Glasses, for example, sharpness of hooks, how strong your leader is, how sharp your hook link is. Boat quality, we've talked a lot about boats lately. You can buy a boat for 300 euros, you can buy a boat for 1,300 or 2,300 euros. It does make a difference to your fishing, 100%. Buy more Nash.
Did you mention boats a couple of times?
But do you also, I mean, if we look to ourselves, I mean, where we're on social media, like you mentioned, we post all these amazing adventures, crazy fish. People look up to us, they see us like as inspiration, whatever, but is it realistic? I mean, we fish a lot, to be honest.
Well, you don't, you've had 3 months off. Me and him have been grafting our arse off all through the shit.
No, but I
months
mean,
of
the
year.
things you mentioned, I mean, like, if you see the carps and you can see, okay, is it gonna work or not? You know that because you fished like shitloads. Is it realistic for normal anglers
No, it isn't.
to ever
It
get
isn't,
to that
no.
point?
Yeah, of course. They have to go through that hard work. You know, it's like, another not great analogy, but this is the simplest one, Mark. If you put now 500 euros on the floor, and Samir puts 500 euros on the floor, and you give me a football, and you say, Alan, it's dead simple. All you got to do, take the football and do 10 keep-ups. You have this whole helipad to do it on. Just 10. I couldn't do it, bruv. I couldn't do it. From my heart, I couldn't do it. I might do 7 or 8, but I ain't doing 10. If you give me 3 days for 1 hour after work to practice, then I can do it. I can do 10. And if I practice for 1 month, I reckon I can do 30. Yeah, if I practice for 1 year, I'll be like fucking Ronaldo, mate. I'll be fucking balls everywhere. It's practice, bruv. Practice. You know, how much have you done, Samir, bruv?
But even before I went full-time angling, you know, I'd go fishing in my lunch breaks at work. You know, I'd go fishing midweek. I'd go fishing at the weekend. I'd take a week out to go on the continent and go fishing.
And people don't realise that, I think.
Well, you have to put the time in.
And one more thing, and it applies to all of us and everyone. Never stop learning.
No, never.
Bruv, I haven't fished this lake before. I was speaking to the guys from Proline earlier. They were like, yeah, we turned up, we had a beer and that, chucked the rods out. It's like
Yeah,
fucking
forever.
12 meters deep, you know?
Yeah.
So now you have to adapt to that situation. How am I going to fish this swim in this situation? And I think that is,
Yeah, of course.
whether you've been carp fishing for 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 50 years, you can't learn it all, you know? So we're all
Well, I
learning.
think people nowadays starting carp fishing are really at a big advantage compared to, say, people who started carp fishing
Agreed.
20 years ago.
Agreed. Yeah.
Now there's lots of tutorials,
Yeah.
lots of videos. You know, there's lots more information out there for the angler to digest and be
You
able
can
to learn from
shorten the
other people's
process down, but
experience.
you can't like completely
No.
shorten it down. You can't.
No.
You can't, like.
You need water experience,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
but like I said, it's a lot easier now for people to learn and then to practice as well, because we used to have to learn things by either being told them by an old boy at the lake, you know, or
Improve your course
experiencing stuff.
fishing.
Yeah, or experience angling firsthand,
Yeah.
and then adapt your approach to the situation because something's occurred, you know, and you feel like, oh, I've not made the most of this situation, and you know, and that's a part of angling. But nowadays, there's just so much information available, and I just think people are really lucky nowadays that they can take that information and run with it.
Yeah, but the problem is also there's too much information and people get like confused about a lot of things, and I think for me in angling it's all about confidence, you know. My
Yeah.
rig I have confidence in, my bait I have confidence in, and nowadays people see this rig, that, and they catch the day nothing, they change rigs again, start changing bait again, and I think that's also...
I've been that guy.
Yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
I've spent 10 years being that guy. Yesterday, me and Ollie fished a lake, a very small lake. I got it all wrong. All wrong. Everything. I was never going to catch one.
Yeah.
And that wasn't because of my rig. Definitely not. It wasn't because of my bait. It wasn't because of it was just because of the carp.
Yeah.
And we talked about it all, didn't we? We talked about it like it was a dreadful session, but I walked away from it. And Nashi taught me this at every session. Whether it's the best session ever or the worst session, you drive home and you ask yourself why. Why was it a huge success? Why did I catch 3 30-kilo fish or blah? Or why did I catch fuck all? Why? And I've literally drove here, luckily this morning I had 3.5 hours with the music very low. Why did I fuck up so badly? Of course,
Yeah.
and
But
this
did
is
you
what I
learn
wanted.
something from Alan?
Bruv, of course, man.
But
When
are
they're
you
grouping up to spawn, you fish in the middle of them. Don't expect them to come to you. They're grouping up to spawn and they're not going anywhere. Like, I'm thinking, I know the lake, Mark. I know how they, on these small venues, they use all the bits, and there's some bits in the lake. If you take a lake, there might be, even if it's the Dare or the Orient or wherever, there will be some areas that they love. They just love these areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be some areas they never use, ever. They never, ever. So we're on this lake now, and I know the areas they love. So I'm fishing in these, they never came there, bruv. They never came there, not once, not one fucking time. So it didn't matter how good my rig was or how good my bait was.
They weren't there.
They weren't there, bruv.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
But
I fucked up.
If you be honest,
After 30 years, Mark, I still fuck up a lot, bruv. Like, through
could
choices.
it be that you also get too lazy now because you think you know already everything? You get too cocky?
You could argue that because the last thing Ollie said to me last night at around 10:30, bearing in mind I've grafted for 36 hours non-stop, everything is in position, the traps are 100%, 1,000,000% per. He said to me, move. And I said, nah, allow it. Now, if I hadn't moved, it could have been a very different outcome. I don't know if that was lazy. There was an element of etiquette and respect to Ollie. He was fishing that end. Of course, he wouldn't have minded, and I could have gone.
But it's always hard at the
Laziness
end
is
of
a
long
key factor,
session,
though,
though,
bro.
as well.
Laziness is a key factor. Lazy anglers only get lucky.
And still, even I mean, if you're not lazy, I think you still have to get lucky while angling.
Yeah, for sure. For
I
sure,
mean, on
absolutely.
Dudare, when we were fish there, we were not lazy, and
No, definitely
we
not.
found the fish, and we, like you say, I mean, we couldn't get a bite there.
No, we couldn't get a bite, and
I felt really lucky when I caught that common. I mean, it's just a reward, but
Is that the mystery, though? Is it like, I always say to people, you are my favourite angler, Mark. For me, you are my best angler.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do, and I tell everyone this. But you still blank.
yeah.
And for me, my second favourite angler is Tom Maker, and I know Tom still blanks. So if these guys are blanking, you and Tom, then you cannot be perfect.
it's not an exact science,
Exactly.
though,
is
it? Like,
that what makes it?
Yeah, that's
if
the
every
allure
time
of
you
it all,
went,
though, isn't it?
You caught so many fucking 30-kilo fish last year. You just fucking gone surfing for 3 months because because it became too. The
And for
mystique
me-
and the mystery
Yeah.
and I know you're chasing some big fish now, Samir. There's some you really want to catch, bro.
Man, and everyone else keeps catching them except for me.
But that drives you on, don't
Yeah,
it?
of
That
course,
is
yeah.
what, like.
But timing's a big thing as well, you know, like I was just saying, I said earlier on about there's one particular carp that I'm really, really keen to catch. And I said to Claire, literally, I said, I need to go next week for a couple of weeks because it's going to come out at the end of February or beginning of March. And literally 2 days before I was about to go, someone sent me a picture, it's been out. And that's it, that'll be its spring capture, that'll be it until it spawns. And you know, the timing's key. I thought I was bang on time. I thought, I've got 2 weeks. At some point in that 2 weeks, I'm in with an absolute chance. It's a creature of habit, you know, and it come a few days early. And that's the thing at the end of the day.
But I
it's a
suppose where I
wild
was going
animal.
with that, if, let's say that target, let's say you went and you caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at me, top man SAMIR with another big carp. And then you had a next one and you went there and you caught it. And then you went there and you caught it. Would you carry on doing that?
What, catching the same fish?
No, not the same fish. You've hit that target,
Yeah.
walloped it first spring, got the next target.
Yeah, that wouldn't be, the reward wouldn't be nowhere near as
but
great.
that's
It's
what
the
I'm getting
struggle.
at. That's what I'm getting
It's
at.
the struggle. Now, I've fished this particular venue now 3 times. I've only actually caught once. And I felt like I should have caught twice. But yeah, no, the fish were just highly pressured. And the lake has a ridiculous amount of natural food, like in the form of crabs and crayfish. And there's so many crayfish in the lake, they actually come out at night. They crawl out on the bank at night and you can find them in your bivvy. And when you're in a situation like that, it doesn't matter how good your bait is, there's food everywhere. There's so much food in the lake, it's crawling out of the lake, you know. They haven't got to eat a tiger nut, they haven't got to eat a boilie. You've just got to be at the right spot, the right moment, you know. When them fish are packing on that weight in the spring, you know, that felt like to me it was going to be the best chance at it, but someone else beat
Might
me
take
to it.
5 springs.
Yep, could do.
Might take 5.
I'm
But
definitely
nowadays,
going
Alan,
next
for
year.
you, I mean, you've seen so many places, got so many carp. Where do you get your motivation from nowadays? What are you searching for?
Fishing.
Just fishing?
Yeah, mate.
Doesn't matter.
That hasn't lacked at all. Like, going with Ollie over the last few days, don't get me wrong, we went to the SAMIR Syndicate, and on the 3rd morning, thank God we had to leave. We were supposed to stay 5 days. We couldn't.
No?
Nah, bro, because 3 days was enough. It was amazing. The motivation is fishing. The motivation is having to work a lot. Don't get me wrong, the last 6 weeks have been crazy. I've just fished, because it's May, it's spring. But the rest of the year, bruv, you know this better than anyone, bruv. Nah, don't you? How much did you look forward to it? And you, Mark, there was a time when you held a normal job, you know, and then all you look forward to. There is nothing more important in this world than loading the van, driving there.
Still like that for me,
Bruv,
mate. It's still like that for me. When the
think
weather starts
that's-
warming up, that's it, mate. I am in excitement. I'm walking the lake.
But did it change for you, Samir? Because you just mentioned you're like a full-time angler now, it's your job?
Yeah, sure. But I'm not angling all the time because I'm probably spending half my time, or if not more, video editing.
Life's so difficult.
You're so busy.
But what it does allow me to do is manage my time better. So last year I went fishing, I'd go fishing, I'd go home, I'd edit the film. Yeah, this year I haven't done that. This year I've just gone fishing because I felt like I was missing out all the time. And being able to just be that flexible in my work where I can say, okay, I'm not going to do any editing. Sorry, everyone, you're not getting any videos. And just focus on the angling since the beginning of March has definitely been an advantage and allowed me to actually accumulate a vast amount of content in a small amount of time.
But then you
and
look
have
like
a wicked time as well.
But if you say that, you're like really practical, focusing on your job, but do you enjoy, I would say...
Does that remove the passion? No, mate,
No.
because it doesn't matter about all the planning and that. When I step on that bank next to the water and I'm looking out across a big bit of blue and I'm seeing weed and I'm seeing them lunk out, mate, I'm not
But it
thinking
sounds
about
to me
editing.
like it has for you though, bruv. You needed this period to...
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I went so hard like the last couple of years, and for me it was all about France, catching big fish.
Yeah.
And I think if you close your eyes and I point on the map in France, I can tell you exactly what's happening there, what fish is swimming there. I probably have been there, yes or not. And for me, it was always, I have such a drive for big fish. I like the most crazy places, the most impossible places where people wouldn't go or say it's too hard or whatever. And I went there and you put the
Caught
work
him in
in.
10 minutes.
No, I work hard for it. I mean,
Yeah, Mark's a grafter,
graft,
mate.
mate,
He's
yeah.
an absolute grafter.
but to be honest, I need something new now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is yet in fishing.
GT fishing, Cosmo,
G&T fishing.
Seychelles, on the
GT
forward,
fishing,
mate.
mate.
Yeah.
Yeti
Big 10
films.
weight, mate.
You never struggled with this?
What,
With
fishing?
Motivation?
Nah, never.
No?
Nah.
Crazy.
No, I'm the same,
Not at the
mate, as
moment.
well.
Not at the moment. Because I say the spring has been fishing a lot. And I can almost feel similar to you. Like this trip, I tried to cancel it 20 times with Dan, our media director. I did. Because I've had so many good shoots in the last 4 or 5 weeks. Do we really need another one, Dan? Come on, my arm's sore, my back's sore, everything. I need my family, blah, blah, blah. Please, Alan, go. Please go. But I could have happily not been here and cancelled it. But that's only because I've had a big run. If you look at the rest of the months of the year, all I'm doing, Mark, is looking forward to the next trip.
Yeah?
Buzzing, mate, for the next trip, 100%. Yeah.
Love that.
Oh, fucking hell, mate, I am. But I'm still buzzing for the anything. See these little ponds, mate? If they had, I'd 100%
See,
I'd catch
that's
them.
where I...
That's the difference, or not?
Yeah, that is the difference. Like, for me, like, I don't know, like, I get quite bored reeling in lots of small fish. I know it's action and stuff, like, and sometimes I'm thankful for the bites if I've had none, but I really do want to catch big ones.
But do you know the problem with big uns? Do you know what big uns is? Yeah, big uns is...
It's a 40-pounder for me, mate.
I've thought about this a lot lately because I'm starting to really want to catch more big uns. Why do I want to catch big uns? To show how big my cock is. How big is my Mercedes? How big is my house? How expensive are my holidays? How lavish is this? Look at this. Look at my Rolex. Why am I doing it? Because I get so much satisfaction from being in a situation, stalking a fish or working with a friend and catching. Yeah. It doesn't have to be big for me. What is driving that is outside influence. It's everyone else, especially Kevin Nash. You're only catch shitters. And my little brother who doesn't even fish. Bruv, have you even ever won any trophies in fishing? Who even are you? Who even are you, bruv? Like, and I think most of the big fish thing, don't get me wrong, and I was speaking with Ollie about it, it is nice to lift a big fish and be in awe of it. But I think most people are doing it to go, look how big my cock is. Look at me, I've caught a bigger fish.
Yeah, you have two elements, yeah.
Is that healthy?
Yeah, but mean, for is our lifestyle healthy? I don't know.
No, definitely not. Mate. Definitely not.
No, not really.
But for me, it's not that for the big carp, mate. I just love the feeling of that weight on the end of my line, mate.
But it should be pristine as well. You don't want to catch it on like a shitty small lake or whatever.
No, you're right. The prestige is a part of it as well. But I like wild ones, bro.
I see you're in
I said prestige.
But I like wild ones, mate. Like, I like
I
wild
said pristine.
fish.
Pristine, I meant.
Oh, pristine. I thought you said prestige.
No.
Yeah. But I like the wild ones, mate. And the big wild ones go like fuck. And I love it, mate.
What's
I love it when
the
I've
ultimate
seen a fish for 20 minutes and it's just motoring along the bottom, towing me around, my rod's buckled in half and my clutch is ticking off real slow. Like, for me, that's the bit. It's not even the...
BC buzz.
It's not the alarm, mate. The alarm is a bit of it, but the biggest bit, the bit that actually makes me spank my bag...
Don't you hate the fact it might fall off?
You hate it, but that's the,
like,
that's the adrenaline rush,
fucking falls off, mate.
Yeah, well,
no one else saw it. You've got to go back and tell your pal or tell your missus. I promise you it was massive. Honestly, it was
What's
huge.
the biggest fish you lost, you think? You lost some big ones?
Of course.
Yeah, I lost a big one last week. Lost a big one last week.
3 weeks ago for me, still hurts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I actually touched it 3 times as well, digging it out of the weed. Actually touched it on the head 3 times.
In Spain?
Yeah, in Spain, yeah. Fell off right at the end. It was coming as well. I thought, that's it, it's done now. It's coming in the net, hand lining it through the weed. And,
but who gives a fuck about the stories of the ones you lost? No one cares. Like, they want to see the trophy.
About the one
but you know, but that's another thing.
But coming back to the buzz for me, like some people, they like to hear the alarm. Some people like you with your surface fishing, you love it when they suck that bread in. That's the moment, isn't it? That's the money shot for you.
Do you know, it isn't even that exciting. It's the taking all the doubt out of fishing. That's all I'm after.
Really?
I don't want to be some sort of idiot fishing all day long and there's not even any fish in front of me. Yeah. Whereas with surface fishing, there is none. Yeah. That's why, it's a little bit exciting.
It's a stimulating
but
form of angling,
it's more that I don't want to waste my time. And you can't waste your time in surface fishing. It's impossible
So like we did on Dudare like last autumn, I mean, he would go mental on the boat probably.
Yeah, he would lost his mind.
Yeah. What, you see no shows?
And nothing, fucking dead leg.
To be honest, towards the end of the trip, I felt like I was losing my mind. But on any big trip, I actually feel like I'm having some sort of mental breakdown towards the end. And like, I don't know whether it's because you just keep going and if they're hard. But yeah, I always feel a little bit slightly mentally unhinged towards the fucking end. But coming back to the buzz for me is that, the ticking off the drag, the big weight on the end, the rod buckled, just thinking, get in the fucking net, please. Get in the net. That's the bit that lights my fire for me, man. When they come up really quick, I'm not interested. It's like, oh God, it's another small one.
Sorry, I mean, you had a lot of crazy adventures. I mean, we saw all the episodes of All About the Journey.
Yeah.
If you have to pick one thing from the All About the Journey series. What's your favorite moment?
Oh, you can't say
You
that.
can
'Cause
think
I
about it.
absolutely love it all. Like, honestly, I love it all, mate. Like, I was really fortunate last year. We got to fish really varied waters. You know, from the Alps lakes to the gravel pits at Lyon, some of the Liège. We fished so many amazing places, like the big barrages up at, Christ, where was that? Up at Villagousian. Like, and it was just really exciting having that much variation in the angling. And we caught some really big fish in France, like, and a part of me does really miss France.
I just wanted to ask you.
Yeah, like, no, I do miss France, yeah. I do miss France a lot.
You're bored already in Spain?
No, I'm not bored already in Spain, but
It's a bit
Spain,
too hard for him, Mark.
No, it's
like, he
not
needs to
hard,
go back
it's-
into the easier
Yeah.
countries.
No,
The
it's
fish he wants to
wading,
catch,
it's
I will
wading
catch for
through,
sure.
wading through a lot of 30-pound commons that look exactly the same.
I know this.
Like, wading through a lot of 30-pound commons that look exactly the same. Now, a 30-pound common or a 30-pound mirror is definitely coming out for a picture, but a 30-pound common is just getting sent straight back unless it's like. But I don't know, mate. Like, but when you catch a big one in Spain, it makes it feel that much more
Yeah.
special because they're just.
More
There's
rare.
just not that many, you know. It's not like France. Every bit of water you touch on's got a 20-kilo carp in, and France is pretty easy. Like, with the exception of like a handful or like maybe like 15, 20 really serious waters. But apart from that, every piece of water's got a 40-pounder in. Like, none of them are super difficult.
I don't know, Samir, about that. I
Well-
kind of disagree there a little bit.
You think?
Yeah, I really do.
Go on.
I don't think Cassian's that easy, bro.
No, no.
Like, for
But
example,
I said
and
15,
Carp
20
his
waters
legs.
though, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I did.
did say
but
15.
I fished other ones. I fished much smaller ones off the radar. Anyway, basically, if they're seeing angling pressure from half-decent anglers, they ain't easy.
Yeah.
You know, you want virgin-esque waters that are seeing very little
Not so
angling
much,
pressure.
but I
with-
can promise you, mate, after living in France
I
for 10
agree,
months,
by the way.
it's
France
a lot
is-
fucking
I
easier
agree,
to catch a
I
big
agree,
carp
I agree.
in France and
But
Spain, you know.
just don't. Yeah, I
not
don't
that
think you
easy.
can nail the whole. I know you said 20
Yeah.
waters, but I fished some that are well off the radar that are still fucking hard, man.
Yeah,
Much
no
harder
doubt.
than going to St John's or Manor on linear
Yeah.
and managing to slot in somewhere and nick a few bites because them
Yeah, but
waters
that's
are
a whole
getting.
different kind of difficulty.
And another one, same zone.
Yeah,
Same
they're all in
zone,
the middle,
bro.
yeah.
mate.
But the whole St John's linear thing is a whole different kind of difficult because you're
No, but
competing
it-
against anglers, you know, like.
No, but that's where I was going with this
Yeah.
whole like it's okay not to pay or pay lake versus public. I think there's a large number of public lakes in France, for example. Orellana, no, but what's the other one we were going to fish? We shouldn't be careful what we say here and that, but there's a couple in Spain that are
Yeah.
seeing some pressure, bruv.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
that you can't just tip up there with your bucket of tigers and expect to be able to go out and drop 4 rods and catch them.
No.
That's the point, and you must have seen it yourself, Mark. You fish these venues and that,
Yeah.
that they're not that easy anymore. Like Longville, for example, or how easy is it now to catch a 30 kilo fish? No. Unless you're Mark Hoffman. Unless you're Mark Hoffman.
Okay.
I love that.
You seem to be quite buzzing now about the whole fishing in Europe, or not? You enjoy it here?
It's the Mecca.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's freedom compared
England
to the
is
UK.
Yeah?
England is a disaster.
Not your
mate.
thing,
It's
yeah.
tickets, it's syndicates,
Mega rules.
Yeah.
Mega list of rules.
all of that,
Big
mate.
list of rules.
You have freedom in Europe. and that's something.
Politics. Like political issues on the lake.
Yeah.
I don't like politics of like, I like
Just like
freedom.
fishing.
Yeah, I like fishing. Which is why, yeah, I remember Ollie saying to me about Nick. Hell yeah, Nick used to come over here and that. He'd drive all the way over. He'd go to a lake. If there was one other fisherman on
He
one,
left.
he'd go. And I get that. I'm maybe not anywhere near as bad as that, but I really get what he, and another one. They're coming closer.
Get the chuddies out,
I
mate.
really get that though, that yeah, fishing has always been for me since a very young boy, me and my dad or me and a friend, and all of it to ourselves. The whole playground. It's our playground. You can
Yeah.
use the swings, the slide, the roundabout, all of it, and there's no other kids there. And carp fishing to me, that's the best. When you turn up at the river, the canal or the lake, and the whole thing is yours.
Yeah.
Bruv,
This spring, bro.
carp.
This spring.
This is
Oh,
fishing.
man.
Yeah, that's why I like Europe, because there is sometimes an opportunity for that. In England, no chance.
No,
No chance.
it's also not.
Let's just finish with this random interview with. I can imagine a lot of people from the UK are watching and they're like, yeah, I kind of see the thing in Europe, France. It looks cool, but nowhere to start. I mean, I explained this already 1,000 times to the people in Holland, but you as a UK angler, probably you have a whole different perspective as well. If you compare it to me, if somebody from the UK would ask you, I want to go to France, fish on the public lake, what would you tell them?
I wouldn't reply.
No. I probably wouldn't either.
I
Apologies.
never reply.
Apologies.
If anyone ever sends me a message about venues, I never reply.
No,
And
but
if you
not
send
about
me two,
venues.
I'll
No,
block
it's not
you.
a question about
It's
where
a
should I
simple
go. It's
question.
like
My advice would be this. I am really blessed that I know you and I know
Lots of
a
other
lot
guys.
of people. But once upon a time I didn't. You know, when I first started working at Nash, you know, I didn't know the people I know now, but I was still coming over here. All I'd say is, it's carp fishing. It's carp fishing. It doesn't matter whether you're in a small lake in Oxfordshire, whether you're in China, whether you're in America, or whether you're in France, it's a carp, bruv. And that is the real key factor in this. You buy the appropriate rod license for the country, your carte de pêche, or your Dutch license, or your Belgium license, whatever, get that. Use their website to understand which waters can I fish, can't I fish, and then fucking put these on. Put that head torch on at night and go and find them.
That's exactly
go and
how
find
me
them,
and
bruv.
Claire started
Go and
fishing
find
in
them.
Europe.
I've done it myself. I've been in many, many, many situations. It doesn't matter how good my contacts are. I've got to the venue, maybe it's busy, I've got there, the carp are dead or whatever, and I've had to go my own way. You just find them, bruv.
But that's an interesting point now. So it's exactly how me and Claire started European fishing.
And another.
We literally just got on Google Maps, looked at some waters, like, that looks all right.
Yeah.
Literally went on the French website, got a ticket for that region, drove there and went fishing. And
especially in France, man, every lake,
Yeah.
whatever you see, there's
It's got
carp
20
in it.
kilo
It's
plus,
probably a good
yeah.
one.
Do you know what I noticed? Even in the north of France, just a few weekends back, I went to a few different public lakes, and they're so good, the people up there, they've actually put the rules in English as well as French.
no,
No,
we need
really.
to drive further south.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think if you can catch a carp, you talked about confidence earlier, or one of you talked about
Yeah.
confidence. If you're confident in a bait or in a rig and you have some basic carp fishing equipment, get over here and go and experience it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone should, 100%.
At least once in their car fishing
And if you've
life.
got any questions, email KWO and they'll always give you full breakdown, pin drops, names, contacts, telephone numbers. Direct it to Mark, he'll reply.
No, yeah. Let's finish with some wise lessons for the youth. I mean, today we saw a lot of youngsters here. I love to see
lot.
it. A lot.
Yeah, really a lot. And the energy from the kids today was amazing, man. Like,
How do you think they can enjoy their hobby, like, to the
don't
fullest?
focus on social media too much.
Oh,
first
man, that's
of all,
a hard one for them.
absolutely.
Agree.
Like,
Yeah,
agree.
A lot of kids say, I've
Don't
spoke
get
to kids,
sponsored by fucking wood chip particle company.
No,
Allow
forget it.
that,
Just
like.
buy your bait if you can.
Yeah.
Get
go
a second
fishing.
paper out. But seriously though, like a lot of kids have said, I spoke to kids today, like, oh yeah, like, I want to get sponsored and all this. And my advice to them is always the same, it's like, if you want to have a career in angling, just first of all go and enjoy your angling. Because that's the most important thing, because if you don't enjoy your angling, you won't enjoy it being a job either. You know, and if you're obsessed with just posting stuff on Instagram, you know, and Facebook, and the whole social media thing, and that is the core of your angling, then you're never actually really going to get what fishing is about. And fishing is really about escapism. Certainly for me, I've escaped England to go fishing, you know.
man, yeah.
I've escaped my real life to come and live out of fantasy, you know. But fishing is escapism, you know, whether it's escapism from work, school, your missus, your parents, whatever. It's about getting out and enjoying the environment, you know, and experiencing nature. And that's got to be the core, I think, for kids, you know, when they're entering into angling. You need to think about nature, wildlife, and what you're doing, and less about social media.
I think if, you know, I can sit here and say, use this rig, use that bait, do this. I think if I had one wish for someone starting, and not necessarily a child, Mark, could be a 20-year-old, could be a 60-year-old, whatever it is, whoever is just going on this journey of angling, it would be, and it took me, I didn't realise this at the start, but I was really lucky for other reasons, but I have realised it now, and I'll never forget it. Never forget that it ain't going away if you don't want it to. If you're a footballer, yeah, or a basketball player, or a runner, or a cyclist, or a skier, or you're on borrowed time, mate, yeah, because of your health, because of age, all of these things. Not fishing, bruv. It ain't going nowhere. You can genuinely start it and finish it when you die.
When you die.
When you die. If you can understand that, then what is the race for the 20-kilo fish? Why is there a race for a 30-kilo fish? Why is everyone fucking racing? Because when I grew up, from at least 20 years, everything was fucking hard work, man. To catch my first £2 perch, to catch my first £6 bream, to catch my first £10 carp, £20 carp. All of these things were massive milestones.
People just want to go straight to the top.
I know, bruv, and in society, I don't know how you talk to people now and change that, because let's be frank, if I want a burger now, I'm going to Burger King. Yeah, I'm not getting the Ridge Monkey out and cooking us one. I'll go to Burger King and get us all a burger. So we all live in that society, but just understand that with angling, you've got it forever. It doesn't have to be a massive race. Just enjoy it. You know, learn as much as possible. Otherwise, you'll ban out like Mark.
Fuck you. Love you guys. Come on, let's finish on the group.
Big love.
Oh, mate.